Hey, gonna continue on the MiniConnections mini app. Got a lot of feedback that in the last video we didn't actually write any code. We only did PRD stuff. We wrote some code for PRD generation. But where we left off is we have this really nice MVP spec that is made as a result of this planning meeting that we had. And then aside, we have the puzzle creation rubric. What I'm just going to focus on is getting the MVP playable so you can actually see what I do for vibe coding. This is a great MVP spec, but it's for actually like how I would approach this if I was really going to do this in a way where I can deliver to a client and say, this doesn't need maintenance, this doesn't need upgrades, deploy it. For this purpose and for speed, I'm just going to make a different spec out of this spec that is the fastest way possible we can demonstrate something and get something out the door. And we're going to implement that spec. And if the game takes off and if people like it, we can switch to the full version later. This is how I approach most problems. Not problems, mini apps. I'm just going to copy paste the MVP spec. And normally when I'm on my computer, I write code for this. I only ask Claude or ChatGPT when I'm on my phone at a bar or something. But who cares? I was spending too much time on a PRD, and I'm spending too much time on this intro now. Hi, can you please digest these documents and help me figure out a very short timeline for 2 cracked engineers to generate a working prototype of this process with a static, hard-coded puzzle, no API logic. I want a back-end dev and a front-end dev working concurrently, and day one needs, and the devs are good enough that day one for them can just be, my mom's calling. I'm back. I had to say goodnight to my nephews. A front-end dev. Okay, let's just keep going. And what I'm trying to tell Claude right now is that the devs are capable of, no, what am I going to say? The devs are nerds and won't go to sleep on a day until the task is done. I am 100% confident on day one they can get a prototype of the backend and API front end ready. Please give me a 5-day timeline window. Okay, and let me just let that go for a bit. Sonnet's fine with thinking mode. You can also use O3. You can use Gemini 2.5 Pro. What I do sometimes is just make them fight with each other, but we'll do there. While this is doing its thing, I want to show you another example of how I do this. FC connections. So this code base had a, did it? No. Which code base was it? Fuck, this happens to me all the time. I was going to show you an example, but now you don't have time anymore. Maybe we'll try again later. No, I want to do, no. Do not be prescriptive. I don't want to tell them what stack to use and what provider to use. Just go through the requirements themselves. Okay, well that does that. What fucking repo did I want to show you? Okay, I know how to do this. Work grep r CTO. Search this folder recursively. I hate this. We're still not writing code. It doesn't matter. It can understand my typing. Search this folder recursively in Python or JS files only to find instance of CTO. Thank you. Let's look at this. Sorry, there's whatever. What's the front end doing? Okay. Is it 16 items? I'm going to trust it. Oh, I totally forgot there's hints. Okay, I'm good with this. I'll let that run, but I was trying to show you a very specific example. Okay, we're done here. Let's do, what I like doing most recently is Vite front ends and vanilla JavaScript, maybe React. And inside that same repo, I do an API folder for a Cloudflare worker. It costs $0. Connections, vanilla JavaScript, city MiniConnections, maker docs, vim docs, MVP plan.md, vim docs. Obviously, it's going to be a mini app, so we need our mini app documentation. It's a vanilla JavaScript app. I promise we're going to do actual coding soon. Actually, we're super close. Frame integration.md. Okay, last thing we got to do, bun I wrangler. Oh, I didn't do bun I at all, actually. I should do that. And then I should do bun I. And then I should also do vim docs frame quick auth.md. And then go to Tony's amazing features docs, copy paste for LLMs, drop that in there. Okay. Whew. Almost there. Is this done? Nah, it's not. It's never going to find it. Fuck it. I was trying to show you an example of how I've done this in the past and like the exact prompt I gave it to give it a personality and stuff like the last video, but who fucking cares? Bun wrangler create. It might be init, not create. Bun wrangler init. Bun wrangler init. I'm going to call it MiniConnections API because that's what I want the deployed name for it to be. And then the second it's done, hello world example worker only JavaScript. It's always default TypeScript, which is so shitty. Not going to use Git because it's a mono repo. Don't need to deploy the application yet. And then let's move the MiniConnections API into just a folder called API so we can do that. Okay, now let's jump into here. This is where the fun starts. Work, MiniConnections API, Claude. Hi, you are the backend dev working on this project. It is a brand new Cloudflare worker project. Right now, the very first thing I want you to do is to convert our wrangler.jsonc. JSONC is JSON that supports comments. It's what the newest version of Wrangler uses by default. I can't use JSONC, so we're going to have it translated over to TOML, which is the old format and works. And then after that, can you use bun, so it doesn't use npm, to set up a Hono server and our Cloudflare stuff with roots and auth handlers and etc. You can find documentation on how we are going to do the front end auth at docs frame quick auth.md, and you can find the implementation it understands misspellings of this project and the day-by-day deliverables in docs. I believe it's MVP plan, ls docs MVP plan. Please get started with the initial setup, then go through day one's tasks and start implementing them. Thank you. Always got to say thank you. Hi, you are the front end. Do you get it now? On this project, please read everything in docs.md and then place our, I swear to God, it's there, man. You're saying MVP plan. Oh, we did get it. I should have just let it keep going. It got it. And then replace our vanilla JavaScript and CSS v starter code with a frame skeleton that does the UI and implementation described in docs MVP plan.md for the initial day. Awesome. This is the TOML. Did I open this in cursor? No. Open folder, mini connections. Okay, let's go through this. Yeah. It's converting the TOML. What I can start doing while we're here is do a dev.vars, and if I need any environment variables like a name or API key or something, I can put them in here. Yes, please keep going. These are good to-dos. These are good to-dos. All right. And then, yeah, we just Normally I play like a video game now, and I just, every time I die, I tab back and I hit enter, but this is what the next, like, I mean, you'll see. And as it does its thing, it really is good to just read what it does. It added cores, so much smarter than I am. I am going to ask it to add a health route though later. It hasn't saved the code yet for the stuff yet. So yeah, how's your day? You may be wondering, why am I using Cursor? I also use the Cursor agent for some debugging. After I get the app set up or the timeline, if I have any issues, I find it easier to open up Cursor and say, hey, I have this bug, can you fix this? Instead of telling Claude Code, hey, we have this bug, so I can tell Claude Code to just continue on what it needs to continue while we take care of the bug. That only counts if they're in different files. If they're in the same file, it gets really confused right now. Cursor apparently did release background agents, which can handle that, but it's way more complicated than I want it to be, so I'm not interested in it. It sets up like a virtual environment and stuff. Okay, routes, puzzles, perfect. Tech giants, binge. Oh my god, these are amazing puzzles that came up with. Okay, great. I want those puzzles. If we were doing a real app right now, I would say I want the static data in a file called static or constants.js. But since we're going to get rid of this anyway and add in an AI layer that does the recording, we're just going to let it go. The middleware is going to be for the auth. Let's see, user. Perfect. Perfect. This user is going to come, you'll see, it's going to be the JWT payload in the middleware. Sorry, I'm saying a lot of nerdy words. No. Bro, in a Cloudflare worker, it's c.env. The fuck was that? This is why I still have a job. Almost done with the initial front end. I'm excited to see what it looks like. And then, hey, while this is going, just to see what it does. Thank you. Thank you. I use bun, but unrelated. MiniConnections, bun run dev. I don't need it to test the API running. That's useless information to me. Oh, it's beautiful. Can I actually play it? Apple. Well, all of the stuff is in. It's not randomized. Okay. Awesome. It's fucking awesome. Can we keep going and implement the next tasks we need to implement? Thank you. Can you please make a new file, stand-ups, and then I got to make the stand-ups folder, make their stand-ups. Backend day 1MD, explaining what we set up briefly, and the API routes and how the front-end dev can consume them. Thank you. And then now that that's ready, MiniConnections. Should I be explaining what I'm doing? I hope you can understand. I'm just coding. Like I don't know how else to explain. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the actual server so I can call it locally. And then when this is done, I swear I made that folder. Whatever. So each tab here is Claude Code, and then the second tab is the instance of it running. And then right now Claude Code is saving the backend information, so I can come here and say, oh my god, it already. No. What is happening? Okay, I was really worried. I thought it overwrote the backend dev's code, but it found the backend dev's code and said it's great. Thank you, keep going. Okay, that was better than I expected. But actually, can you, just to make sure we're doing the right stuff, read the backend dev stand-up notes in stand-ups backend. Oh, fuck, that's what I did. MV, did I just fuck that up? Yeah, I didn't tell it to go up a folder when saving a stand-up. That's why it made it. The fuck? Oh, CD API. Mono repos. Thank you. Can you please get started on day 2's tasks now? Day. You never want to assume gender for a robot. Game state tracking. Nice. That makes sense. Are we going to use D1? I should have really read this spec. Gonna use D1 for the DB, right? I don't know what the hell it's gonna decide. God, I wish I knew what it was gonna do if I didn't pick. I will run that for you, thank you. And then again, I do not use npx, I use bun. What just went wrong? I've ran into this before. This isn't the actual issue. I am logged into my account. This has happened before. What the fuck just happened? I should have written down the last time this happened so I could remember what I did. Fuck. I hate this. Okay. Bun wrangler logout. Let's just try restarting it. Bun wrangler login. But the login is buggy and whatever. I'm not going to let it stop me. Yes. And then is it not going to work? It's not going to work. So then you have to do it a second time. I do this like a fucking 50 times a day. And then it works the second time. Because why would it not need 2 times? Okay. Bun wrangler d1 create. Please don't have the same error. That was horrifying. I ran it and put the db binding in wrangler.toml. Okay. Now it's going to set up a schema. Then we're going to run the schema. And then we're going to run the schema in production. And then we're going to do what we need to do. Let me read the okay, that terrified me. It's a JSON array, and that's not allowed in SQLite, but it's actually doing text, and it's going to save a JSON array. That's great, though. While it's doing that, let's do bun wrangler d1 execute MiniConnections db file equals schema. Where to put it? Schema.sql, yeah. And then execute it remotely. When you execute locally, it does it on a little SQLite file on your computer. Completely forgot the front end dev was working. And then I like the back end dev more. Let's come in. I can't wait to see what Stitch has done too. I legit forgot we were working on that. And then just to verify that everything is working, I'm going to go to D1. I'm going to see MiniConnections DB and game sessions. We're golden. What you could do if you want, I like nano ID more than UUID. You can open up a third one, and after they write their stand-ups, have a PM put in like, what are we worried about? What are they nerd sniping themselves on? What are they not working on that they need to be working on? And then make the devs read those. Okay, got the server running here. Oh, well, the server, whatever. The old API routes are still going to work while these new API routes are kicking in, but it is going to restart every time that we do something. A file change is what I mean by something. Bun run dev. Oh, this is the one that was on the server. That's awesome. And then it's calling the server. It's calling puzzles1, and it's getting the items. Great. And then if I hit, where's the hint button? Yeah, I don't see the hint button, but maybe I'm just missing it. And then, as you can clearly tell, we stopped keeping up with reading the code. Oh, when you select progressive hints, I wonder where in the MVP plan that said it. Or is that how connections works? I just want to test the hint functionality right now. That's all I want. Ultra streaming's cute. I have this. Claude Code's really cute. I said that in like a really annoying way, like I'm mad about it, but okay, cool. I still don't. I hate this. I hate that hint system. Please write your notes for the day and stand-ups front end day 1MD and explain what we've gotten done and that we do not like the current hint system. Wanted to. How should the hints work? What does the MB plan say? I really don't love it spoiling stuff. It doesn't really explain how the hints work. This is the other one. CD work mini connections. What is it called? Connections. There it is. Grep our hint stocks. Fuck me. What's the folder named? Meetings. Okay, it's an initial planning meeting. Crypto Lex. God, I hate those. Let's look at this. Snaps fingers. I hate this. I should have read this earlier. We're going to disable that. We're just going to kill that entire feature. Going to kill it completely from the front end for the MVP. Do not love that feature. Did I even ask you to write back in day 2? Did you do that yourself? Oh, I love you. You're so cute. Start brings in games, mistakes work, schemas. Okay, perfect. And I just put the front end in because I want it in case I basically getting all over the place and I forgot to keep talking. The stand-ups are for 2 reasons. They're to facilitate information between the 2 sessions, and they're so if these sessions end and break, sometimes they do, like they just stop responding, or terminal crashes, or I work on a different project and I close the terminal tab. The stand-ups give it context of where it was, so it starts again. Please continue with day. Per stand-ups front end day 2.md. I believe that is what it's called. Stand-ups, and then let me move this into here again. That's where stand-ups should go, by the way, in stand-ups. It says we don't want to do the hint feature for the MVP anymore. Can we do day 3's tasks without the hint feature? We will A/B test the hint feature later. I gotta look up how actual connections does a hint feature. Because on only connect they don't do any hints, but they're British, so. Front end day 1. Sorry, it's front end day 1.md. Right? Yes, sir. Cool. So yeah, I mean, I'm so sorry. We didn't have to do this for so long. I could have done this for like 5 minutes and you would have gotten to the point. But this is what I do. And you can do it on multiple projects at the same time. But again, this is how you rack up a big Claude bill. But apparently Claude Max is only $200 a month for flat rate, so that's good. But yeah, you let them run. Every few minutes, you remember you're supposed to read the code to see how it is. You refresh it to make sure it didn't break. You still got to do We got to add like a leaderboard button later. There's a lot of features we need to add in. We got to add in. I don't actually know if the frames integration works at all right now. Let's look. It should actually. So let's test it really quickly. 3. Hell yeah. The image doesn't work, but that's fine. What the hell is this saying? Oh, that's just saying the image doesn't work. SDK.actions.ready isn't being called, but the frame code is set up. So, it is a mini app. Here's what I want to show you about Claude Code. It says really cute stuff, and I really like it. So I keep a list: shucking, promoting, meandering, pointing. Yeah, I don't know what I'm ever going to do with it, if anything, pleating, but I love the little things it says when it's working. I think this is it, removing the hints. Yeah. Why are you updating the SQL? Fuck me. User stats. Okay. Fuck. I gotta come here. I shouldn't have done that. Bun, Wrangler, D1, execute, mini, connections, DB, delete, drop table. I gotta rerun the SQL, and we don't have an actual schema migration set up yet, so I just have to rerun the. What is the? How do you pass in a command? Command. And then also run it remotely. And then now we come back here and we run the full file. Tell this to keep going. We come here. I think we're almost done with the MVP. Totally forgot to look at the design. Didn't make anything. I want the mid-game screen, and I want the win-lose screen, and I want the leaderboard screen. Thank you. I should have remembered to check on that. I always neglect designers. Yes. What you at now? Perfect. Fail to load puzzle. It's because it's not running. Bun Wrangler dev. Perfect. It can even. The pagination buttons don't work, but I'm guessing it's setting it up right now. But that's really cool. Chris, if Chris Beavers is watching this video, he's severely undervaluing his time and making bad decisions. But Chris, mine has more features than yours. Not bragging, but mine has more features. Should it have the feature? I don't know. Does it take away from the game? Maybe, but mine has more features than yours. And after you win, it shows you another puzzle. I guess over in the MVP, I told it I want to make a Firecaster game where it's once a day and it drops once a day or something. So that's not part of the MVP spec. But I don't know. I can get this code and do whatever the fuck I want to do with it. Cool. Yeah, so I'll push all this code up. Hope this was informative. Really cute. The very last thing, thank you so much. Can you please make stand-ups front end day2.md and explain what the next step should be and etc. Thank you. Before we wrap up, I'm just going to let the backend dev finish, and then I'm going to have them write stand-up notes, and then I'm going to tell the front-end dev to incorporate their stand-up notes into its stand-up notes, and then we'll be done for the day. Although I guess we're like on day 4 or something for the backend and day 2 for the front-end. This bro updated the documentation itself. Claude 4, I love you. Thank you. Genuinely fun to play. It's never played it in its life, and it says we built something genuinely fun to play. Other stuff we would do is incorporate the actual. In this mono repo, I want a folder that does scheduled tasks that like every day generates new puzzles or something. Not 100% sure how Chris does it. Maybe he generates them in bulk beforehand, but cool. Can you add the API routes and how to use them so the stand-up notes are relevant to you and the front-end dev instead of self-masturbation? Thank you. They just, this makes me want to, not going to say. Can you read the backend devs notes from stand-ups? This folder is confusing me. Stand-ups, backend, day 3.md, and update your spec with your stand-up with next steps for what to do after the stakeholders love the demo and we want to keep continuing. Don't be so like you're reading the notes yourself. You don't need to, you know, be smug. Okay. No more back-end maceration. I've said maceration a lot of times today on Firecaster and this video to Claude Code. I hope it doesn't mean anything. Okay, let's see how much this was. 156. Can you fucking believe that? And most of the programming was done by Claude 3.5 Haiku, and Claude Sonnet did the planning. Ha ha ha. In here now, we do bind wrangler deploy to get it actually set up on the cloud and get an API endpoint and so on and so on. And then we're good. I should have had one of them write a, I'll do that really quickly. Let me just save this because I like saving this information in the stand-up notes. And we did multiple stand-up notes this time for one dose, so it doesn't count. And I guess this video is technically done. I'm still showing you even though the video is done. Next thing we would do is we would go into Cloudflare and actually assign a domain name to this so we can have a production domain name. We would push up the front end to Vercel so we have somewhere to host it or something. And then, I mean, we obviously need to do the front end, but hi, can you please read everything in docs and stand-ups? Make a README that explains this project and what is done and isn't done. Please license it MIT. Could do a whole hour-long video about why we're licensing at MIT, but it is the correct license to use. Not going to say anything more because that is going to take over the video. CD git status, git init, git status. Making sure everything's good there. Git add commit initial commit, git status. And then now what we have to do, we have to actually add it to GitHub. And it's called MiniConnections. I'm going to call it MiniConnection frame, even though it's not frames anymore, because I'm just going to call it MiniConnection. All my other repos are called frame because they were frames. Okay, now it's on GitHub. I can go on Vercel and I can deploy it. When we do the deployment, this is not relevant to the video, I'm sorry. But when we did a deployment, we have to set up a system or manually come here and replace the URL in the FC frame. And then we have to update the backend URL in the code from wherever it is, localhost 8787. From here to actually being the API, and so on and so on. Okay, and then in a license, I want to make sure to actually say my name, Rashidi, and then README, initial costs, backend dev days 1 through 3. Where did I put that stuff? I saved it somewhere. There it is. Which one was which? This was the backend dev. Front end dev days 1 to 2. Just a little, one, to share the information, and two, to show people. I would love to share the prompts themselves. I just don't have a good system of doing that, else I would add it into the repo too. But status. And I should really read the repo and figure out what the fuck it just said under README, but we'll do that later. Add README and license. Cool. So that's it. I hope this was enlightening and worth your time. But yeah, first video, we set up the PRD. Obviously, there's a lot of things you can do to improve that and give yourself better foundation going in. This video, we just did the MVP. It's not how I would actually approach the project if I wanted to create the project, but it is how I would approach the project if I just want to test the idea and see if people like it, and also if I just want to demonstrate to someone how I do vibe coding. Yeah, we'll talk soon. I forgot about the designer. Again, here's what it did. Fucking hate it. Completely missed the point. It's a grid of 16 where you have to match the pairing animals. It's not at all what we were looking for. It does look pretty. It's just not at all what we want, and I got to try again on it, but whatever. Someone else can design it.